A group of scientists making some big claims about the effects of the oil spill. Tonight, the three presented their studies that show the problem in the Gulf may be bigger than what we've been told. Fox News reporter Paige Malone was at that meeting and brings you the details.
In the 87 days of following the Deepwater Horizon explosion, crude oil spewed into the Gulf of Mexico. Since, scientists have been working to answer the questions we all have. What are the effects, short and long term, on our ecosystem, public health, and our seafood? In a ballroom in Biloxi, three experts told a group of people we are far from realizing the extent of the damage.
Right now, the negative signs are piling up.
He says the toxin levels in the species in the Gulf are higher than the FDA led us to believe, and there was studies registered as unsafe. Dr. Scott Milroy is an oceanographer.
Whether they're going to reproduce the next generation so that, shrimpers and oysters next year, actually have a crop to go out and harvest. And so all of those are questions that are still open, but are a little bit more concerning if you have a level of contamination in those species that was higher than people had thought.
Next, we have our oysters. Dr. Ed Cake says the industry has been decimated, and we can't hope to see any improvement anytime soon.
And so if we're talking about what's happening here, we already know that after 18 months, there's no recovery started. Even if the oysters begin setting in the spring, it'll take 3 years for the crop of oysters to be ready to harvest. So we're talking now 5 years.
And finally, human health. Dr. Wilma Serba has been studying the crude crisis' effects on people mentally and physically, and she's found some serious problems.
It's a lot of respiratory problems, skin rashes, skin lesions, cardiovascular, decreased lung function, things that are acute in the beginning and now are very, very chronic or long-lasting.
And each of the panelists say the effects of the oil spill cannot be fully realized just yet. It'll be years. Through private studies like theirs, they say, we'll find a lasting footprint of the oil spill. Reporting in Biloxi, Paige Malone, Fox 10 News.
And tonight's discussion was sponsored by the Sierra Club. It's the third in a series meant to educate the public on the facts of the spill and the effects.